I understand that you're a creator yourself, right?
Something like that, yeah.
So talk to me about that. How did you get started on YouTube?
Okay, well, I kind of got started. I used to play a lot of like Fortnite and Rocket League over COVID because I was in high school, finishing that up over COVID. And so I started uploading like montages of just clips from that with my friends. And then I kind of realized that, I hadn't gotten a genuine sub that wasn't a sub for sub
Yeah.
yet. And it had been like half a year. So I was like, you know what? I might try to do something different. And a bit before that, I had watched, do you know Jay Schlatt?
Yep. Of
Yeah,
course.
A Tribute to Minecraft.
Yep.
Yeah, so I watched that and I was like, okay, wait, because that got me, that hit me right in the feels because this was kind of like right at the resurgence with SMP Live and all that, and I was like, wow, I forgot how much I love this game. So I started researching it and I realized he had one for I think Mario Kart, Double Dash, and then Minecraft, and then like oh, what's it called? Roller Coaster Tycoon. And that was it. And I was like, okay, I really like this guy's idea. And I kind of want to, build on that. So I made this channel and I called it A Tribute To at first. And I just started dropping those types of videos for pretty much every game that I could, think of that I loved as a kid. So I think I started with like Castle Crashers and it was pretty good. It got like nearly 1,000 views. So I was like, okay, maybe this could work. And then from there, it's pretty much just been, I guess, like 3 years now of just videos like that. But you can definitely see the growth in terms of what I'm trying to get out of it. And stopping making content for the viewers and just starting to actually make it for myself, to where I feel like every time I rewatch one of my videos, I feel like I can be genuinely interested. Because if I'm not interested, why would the viewer be interested?
Yeah, absolutely. So you make videos where you are doing a tribute to that game because you love it, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So like with that Castle Crashers one, I try to focus more on games that I think are under talked about
Right.
nowadays. Like they were once, top of the charts, like Ark Survival Evolved, for example. Back in 2015, I loved that game. Like it was broken, it was buggy, but it was home. And I loved it. And now, like I'm sure there's still a relatively large player base, but that's just all the PvP sweats. So not
Yeah.
really my type of thing anymore. It's weird when you upload a video and it's on a game that you think not many people played, and then because it's got the very low competition, people come to it. So I made a game off this one indie game on Steam called Pulsar Lost Colony, and it's just like a really fun like kind of No Man's Sky but co-op. Yeah, every time it goes on sale now I get like this influx of people and they're all talking in the comments section asking if it's worth it. So when you
Oh,
find like a niche little community like that, I don't know, that's kind of like my favorite part of making content, is just like interacting with communities that are happy about someone making something about this great game.
so something that I'm immediately interested in is, have you ever had a feeling of running out of games to give a tribute to?
That's why I rebranded. So now my channel name's Nostalgist. And if you notice, I haven't dropped a video called A Tribute To in, I think, over a year now. My last one was actually January 6th, 2023 is the last time I made a video that was just straight up a tribute to. And I wanted to keep going because like it's difficult with the rebrand because I got one. I was uploading shorts, and I uploaded one short that popped off, and that's where I got the majority of my subs, and the rest of them were pretty much all from my Stardew Valley video. And so it's difficult to rebrand because you will notice that the people that followed you for one specific reason are no longer there. And that's the problem with having content like that, is it's not very niche, and so it's hard to build that large audience quickly, and it's more like a gradual process. But I've started kind of getting back into just kind of exploring the game as a motif, or just having the game as b-roll and talking about other things. Like some of my last couple of videos, some of them haven't been on about games at all, and some I just use some as an example. I've dropped some on cartoons and TV shows and all that. So it's pretty much just a creative evolution, I think, of just what I think people would actually want to hear about, because it's difficult to get into that mindset of this is just an echo chamber. Everyone says they love this game and I'm just talking more about how I love this game, but am I actually producing anything that I think is worthwhile? And that's the thing, like I make this for me more so than anyone else, just because I love making the videos. But
Right.
yeah, it's definitely a fear of mine that one day. But the other thing is, 5 years ago I looked at Minecraft completely different than I look at it today. And today, because I still play occasionally, I'm going to look at that 5 years later extremely different. So it's honestly it's pretty evergreen, to be honest, because as I grow and as my content changes, the viewers are also able to grow and their perspectives are different. So I have a feeling that it's more of a channel where the demographic grows alongside me. And there are certain games that have dropped very recently that I've made tributes to. And then there's older games. So the age range of my viewers is very drastic. It can be difficult, and I certainly could run out, but I don't think that that's a very, very, near problem for me, just because I play a lot of games, so I like a lot of things.
Right. Yeah. Because I mean, when I think about that, for me, I
Hmm.
could make a video about Minecraft, obviously,
Yeah.
and then probably The Witcher 3, because I've
Yep.
I've played that like 1,300 hours of that, and then maybe Red Dead Redemption 2.
Hmm.
But it's like I've run out of ideas so quickly to do that kind of topic, and
Yeah.
it's impressive that you've been able to do this for years, because
Yeah.
like I had an old channel last year and I had to I didn't have to, but I made the decision to delete it and start this
Oh yeah.
channel because I had run out of ideas, essentially. And I think it's really important to pick a type of content where you know that this is not something that will easily be extinguished,
Hmm.
because as a creator, the number one problem, at least for me, is always going to be ideas. It's never going
Yeah.
to be execution. It's never going to be, how do I do this one type of edit? It's always going to
Hmm.
be, what is the core idea of this video and how do I make a new idea every day? Because it's really, really hard to do that. And I'm sure you would agree with that.
Yeah, there have been certain stretches of time where, and this is why, I used to be very much about, motivation and trying to get myself motivated every day. And then I realized, motivation means nothing if you have no discipline. Motivation can, like, there have been stretches of time where I adore, just making videos, and I will bang out like 10 videos in like 8 days, and
Yep.
I will just schedule them for upload. And then I'll go a month without touching it,
Hmm.
and it's getting in the mindset of, I know this is a hobby, and this is not a career for me. I don't even make money off of this. This is just purely a hobby for me. And yet, because it could be something more, finding that discipline to just kind of, even when you're not motivated, just getting a start on it. I mean, there are a million scripts that I have that are just halfway done because I had motivation and I never had the motivation again to finish it. And then there's other times where I, just sit down and I'll start it and then I'll be like, man, I really don't want to do this, when I could just, hop on Elden Ring or something. And then I'll just sit there and I'll bang it out. And then I'm so proud at the end of it when I'm looking back on a video that I'm, happy to have made. It's rough to feel like I'm running out of ideas. And the one thing that I never want to be is disingenuous. I
Right.
never want to upload a video saying how much I love a game that I honestly haven't played that much of.
Yep.
Um, and so that's kind of why I did the rebrand, because I was like, this is great temporarily, but I know in the future, yeah, it's not sustainable. And so that way I'm able to kind of, more so address issues than just, purely nostalgia. Um, and so yeah, it's the continuity of all my content is a little iffy, but again, I'm making this for myself. And yeah, some people seem to stick by and enjoy everything, and other people, I'll see them return on certain videos and not. But having, that's the beauty of having, it's not small. I mean, nearly 4,000 people, like, that isn't an unfathomable number for me to just think about,
Yeah.
like, this many people like this,
Right.
but actually, there are certain viewers that I've been able to interact with and become friends with, and I always see them back, and it's just like a year-long thing. Like, maybe I haven't heard from them in 8 months, but I'll remember the name, and then they'll say something in Discord or something. It's really nice to see that.
Would you recommend other people try to become creators?
100%. I strongly believe, the amount that I have learned, this is not my plan A, like a lot of people, they're just born for this and they pursue it insanely hard. And, this is all they want to be. But I think especially now, we're starting to finally realize, and I can only really talk on long form content because I have a lot of feelings on short term content.
Hmm.
But in general, yes, like I kind of treat making YouTube videos as almost like journaling to me, because the entire reason that I have this channel is to get that childlike sense of wonder again. That first day that you played Minecraft and you spawn in and there's just this empty vast world in front of you, and you can do whatever you want, but you don't know enough to know the limitations of what you can do.
Right.
And that feeling right there is pretty much the reason that I am who I am today. And it just it made creativity flow through me, and gave me the same feeling as getting a Lego set for the first time, and you're just so excited.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and so yeah, it's just kind of pursuing the idea that I feel like, kind of like a kid that was forced to grow up a little too early. Like I would just give anything to sit on the couch and watch Disney XD and, eat cereal in the morning again. Like that was just, I don't know. I hold that very close to me.
So if it's not your plan A, what is your plan A?
So I'm in school right now. I'm studying computer science.
That's cool.
And the main reason I did that is because I knew of all the possible career opportunities, I already knew how to learn a certain thing. I feel like everyone knows how to take a class where it's lecture based and you just take notes and you study for exams. And it's not very specialized. But with computer science, I had never touched this before, except for like some Minecraft mods that I made when I was 12 that I don't think ever worked. Um, and yeah, I was just like, even if let's say YouTube goes crazy and I am able to turn that into a plan A, I've still learned something incredibly cool that not that many people can do. And so now it's like 5 years from now I could have a great paying job in computer science, still upload content, and I would know enough to maybe develop like an indie game or something like that on the side. So
Hmm.
that's kind of realistically, that's the plan A. Now, I will never not want to make content. Like I said, I genuinely do this for myself as well. I think that it is beautiful to see, what your mind can come to if you just open up a Google Doc and you are watching, like sometimes I will genuinely just turn on, C418's music and I will just sit here in a dark room and I will just write whatever I'm feeling. And sometimes it turns into a video, sometimes it doesn't. But I think it's incredibly healthy. And that's why everyone that I have ever talked to that says, like, I want to make content, like, it's not as glamorous as it looks. Like, you are going to have a lot and a lot of learning to do. But man, that process, when you slowly start realizing that you are actually teaching yourself something, and when you watch your video editing skills go up and you're mixing your audio better and your thumbnails are getting better, it's just such an amazing feeling to know that you're getting good at something. um, and then to be able to reflect on that and to I derive a lot of self-worth out of the content that I make, because I think that it speaks a lot on not just who I am right now, but also who I want to be and how I want to be perceived.
Well, see, if that is how you feel and you clearly have so much passion about it and you know that so many people do make careers out of it, are you not ruling out that it could be a career for you?
No, no, of course not. Like there is always the possibility of this turning into something more.
Yeah.
And this summer especially, I am the type of person that I am extremely motivated and passionate about things for short stretches of time. And then I typically cycle through my hobbies, like I'm a big outdoorsman. So some months I'll go camping, a lot. And I never really get time I'll shoot B-roll and stuff while I'm out there, but I never really get time to come back and kind of focus. But I find that actually stimulates it because I like the breaks. And so for me, the only thing in my mind that would, really switch for me is getting consistency down. I genuinely think that that's pretty much it. Like I know that, this stuff is very much a core part of who I am. And, I won't not make content. And if I never turn it into a career, I'm still going to look back and I'll be like, I gave it my best shot. I strongly believe the fear of, failure is way, way smaller than the fear of regret. Like I
Right.
never want to look back and be like, that's actually pretty good. I could have done something with that. So it's just been kind of a summer of, reprioritization and trying to close some doors and leave some open, because I have a lot that I like doing, and it's very difficult to try to balance everything, especially when I'm pouring thousands of hours into content. And for me, the biggest problem that I kind of regret ever doing was getting into short form content and making YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
because I would spend 10 minutes on a video and it would get 7,000 views. And then I would spend, 60, 70 hours on a video where I'm just pouring my heart out and it would get like 100 views. And that's just the difficult thing of like feeling like what you made isn't worthwhile compared to other things that you've made. Like my favorite videos that I've made, sometimes a lot of the time I think are not my most popular videos, and not that many people have watched them, and yet the people that do, seem to really like it. So it's been kind of jumping over the mental block of just learning to make what I love instead of making what the algorithm loves. And some people are only willing to do what the algorithm loves because they need the numbers. And for me, that's not what my priority is. So
When it comes to my content, I never look at anything retention wise, or I never look at click through rate, or
yeah.
even average view duration. I don't really care about. And
Mhm.
that might be unoptimized from an algorithm perspective, where I'm not paying attention to every little minute thing that will make the video get more views.
Yeah,
But evidently, I've still been able to grow a following and people like what I have to say. And I
exactly.
think what shines through more than anything, not how well crafted your thumbnail is, not the hook, the first 30 seconds have to be
Hmm.
perfect, all that kind of stuff. What matters most to people is if you genuinely care about what you're making, because people are
Hmm.
smart and they can
Yeah.
tell when you don't have your heart in it, or you're just
Hmm.
doing it for the money, or you're doing it for a sponsorship deal or whatever.
Hmm.
And if you, I mean, I could tell that you really care about what you do. And if you just make videos where the passion shines through and there's no like gimmicks of, make sure to hit the bell and all that kind of
Yeah.
crap, like
Yeah.
people with enough time, and I genuinely believe people will come to you because they can tell that the passion is there.
That's something that, it's it's very interesting to hear, the perspective, because I've never really been able to reach out to larger creators than me. And my best moments in content creation have always been when I am mentally stimulated by another creator. One of my best friends was really big on Twitch and he was streaming every day, and I was focused on YouTube. And there have been stretches of time where I've uploaded a video every single day for weeks.
Yeah.
And it's just that, I think, kind of sets off the signal of like, okay, he's just mass producing, he doesn't really care. He's just kind of trying to, throw everything that he can out there and hope that randomly it'll show up on someone's, homepage. But no, that's definitely, yeah. I know that it'll just take time, and that's why I tell people, to produce content. Just make it and get it out there, and at the very worst, you do something cool and you
Yeah.
learn something that you didn't know. Yeah, I doubt, I've never heard of anyone that's uploaded something that's like, they actually care about, that regrets it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's a big deal for me.
Well, and about consistency,
Hmm.
um, there's a podcast that I really love by two guys, Colin and Samir,
Mm.
and they make anything related to creator economy stuff. They had an episode once where they mentioned creative people are often not consistent people.
Mm.
And I think you and I both agree. Like I've had stretches where I made like 9 videos in 9 days once, like
Mhm.
one talking video a day, and then I didn't upload anything for 2 weeks.
Mm.
And it's not because I was trying to just throw something at the wall and see what sticks. I just had a burst of ideas and I was really passionate for that
Yeah.
week and a half. And now that will wane off eventually. But I think what people need to do as creators is find, like I said earlier, find a concept, find a video idea, find a series that is independent of your consistency.
Mhm.
Like this, for example. Part of the reason why I'm doing these one-on-one calls now is because I recognize that I can only have so many thoughts in my brain and I can only
Yes.
talk for so long. And eventually I'm going to need a sounding board, someone else to talk to.
Mhm.
And by having someone else here, it alleviates the very difficult part of being a creator, which I said is coming up with ideas. And like, I don't write any scripts, obviously, for these calls. This is just
Mhm.
me talking live with you. Like, it doesn't require me to be thinking on this like hedonic treadmill of being a creator, where it's just I have to
Yeah.
keep up like a hamster on a wheel.
Yeah.
So you have to find something, and obviously it's easier said than done, but find a certain format that you can work in where it doesn't really matter if you don't have an idea today because someone else is coming to you with the idea and you work
Mhm.
together or something. Yeah, I think collaboration is a really helpful part of being a creator.
For sure. And, a lot of people, they only do collaborations when both sides can contribute something that can be, quantified. Yeah, it's just I think the genuine human interaction is very much an undercapitalized part of content where, in
Mm-hmm.
today's age, especially on YouTube, it's really been hit hard by corporations and MCMs. Um, or multiple channel corporations. I don't even know what they're called.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, it's just like everything is so set up and you can feel that it's unoriginal. When you look at an ad made by Google or like Kroger or something, you can tell exactly that it is a corporation making the ad. And there's just something about it. There's something in the art style or the voice,
Yeah.
and it just feels disingenuous. And so when you actually break down and you hear people's stories, like I've been watching a guy on YouTube, Peter Santinello, recently.
Oh yeah, I love his stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and I watched his video about the dude that lives off grid in Kentucky. And
Oh, was it a Titus?
yeah, Titus,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
that
video
guy.
was awesome. Yeah.
And I was just like, that type of content is to me what YouTube is all about.
Yeah.
And that is, you can be anyone. You can do anything. Look at Joji, look at like Filthy Frank.
Right.
Started off genuinely like he only wanted to make music and he started Filthy Frank to grow, his audience and then like release music for them. And sure, it created something that he wasn't really comfortable with and he kind of felt, like he had to get out, and he did
Mm-hmm.
that very calculated, and now he's Joji and everybody knows him for that, and he's very, successful in that. And that's just the beauty of it to me, is just what you can make out of this. You've got people like a Daily Dose of Internet,
Mm-hmm.
and to me that is the perfect level of fame. Everybody knows that channel, but nobody really knows the dude behind it. They don't have to he doesn't have to worry about going to the grocery store and someone's, all up in his face. He doesn't have to worry about his family or his wife or anything like that. He's
Yeah.
just releasing what he wants to release, and people consume it for the content. And it's a very genuine thing when you meet people like that. And I don't know, it's just that's the type of content that I'm attracted to.
Yeah, I think people don't place enough importance on just being yourself on the internet
Mm,
and how often why people don't succeed or why they're having trouble getting to where they want to get to is because they're not being genuine. And they're
yeah.
and they're putting on a persona, they're playing a character in their videos, or they're just doing something where it's just clearly not them. Like I was
Hmm.
watching a video yesterday, and I mean it was kind of like a guilty pleasure video because I never really watched like internet drama stuff.
Yeah.
But it was talking about this guy Steiny, who's one of the
Oh yeah.
co-hosts of Impulsive, right?
Yeah.
And the video was just like, I mean, it was kind of like a a bashing of Steiny
Yeah.
for many reasons. But they were talking about how Steiny is like not a very like he's a big flexer. He's not really being
Hmm.
himself, and often when
Hmm.
he is most entertaining is when he's just let loose and he's just
Hmm.
being who he is on the inside.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, if you were just being yourself, people would like you.
Yeah.
People don't like it when you're being fake. And people don't
Uh-huh.
like it when you're making a channel where it's clearly not you. Like all of the Mr. Beast imitators.
Yeah.
Like, are they really doing that because that's their personality? Or are they doing it because they know that it's been proven to work by Mr. Beast?
To an extent, I understand, because you never know if something is going to work until it is proven to work. Like until someone has done something, everyone says it's impossible. So, but when you look at Mr. Beast, a lot of people just see like, oh, he's got a ton of money, that's why he can get all these views, because he does just crazy things that the average content creator can't do. But when you go back to when he had 5,000 subs and he was just talking into a microphone, like counting to 100,000 in one take, or
Yeah.
when he was in community college or he was lying about being in community college for
Yeah.
his mom, and
Yeah,
then
he was.
just obsessing over content and talking to people every day about exactly how, like, what makes a good video, like what should I do to edit. And that's where part of me is like, that's beautiful that he's so passionate about this is what he wants to do. And another part of me is like, you have to be that formulated to achieve that level of success. And I think that there is a line. I think at one point or another you have to be that calculated, because you are doing things that need to be carefully calculated.
Right.
And so it's definitely, he doesn't make content that everyone can make, and it requires, so much more than just, a mic and Premiere Pro. It requires years and years of, networking and making the right connections and having the best at what they do around you. And yeah, it's more of a business than it is, a YouTube channel now. And that's just like, and I think, again, short form like TikTok has completely inflated what we think of as popular. If you get a million views on TikTok, like, that is relatively common.
Yeah.
And if you have 100,000 followers on TikTok, that is relatively common. You don't really mean much if
Hmm.
100,000 people
Yeah.
follow you, and that is absurd to me.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like a city.
picture yourself sitting inside of a stadium, and there are 100,000 people in the seats all watching you. Like, that is absurd. Like, I can't even fathom, 4,000 people watching me. And so
Yeah.
it's completely inflated, what we think of as popular. Like, there are so many small creators that have no self-worth because, oh, I've only got 7,000 subscribers. 7,000 people like you. That is such a big deal.
Yeah.
That is massive.
Well, even so, and I think this is an important point because I've talked to some of my friends who don't spend any time on YouTube, so
Mhm.
they think that subscribers are the number one thing.
Yeah.
Subscribers are, honestly, it's a vanity metric. It doesn't
Mhm.
actually indicate the health of a channel, because there are channels like Webblecop that have 15 million subs and they struggle to get 20,000 views a video. Focus on delivering quality content. Don't focus on
Mhm.
so much on make sure to subscribe to my channel, because that's not what's going to lead you into a career or into
Mhm.
even, I think, self-worth and feeling like what you're doing is valuable. Like
Yeah.
what's valuable to me are the comments. People that
Yeah.
they say
For
like, "Oh, I
sure.
love your video," or they share it with one of their friends. That's what's meaningful, not whether you get a subscription or not.
Yeah, I made a video somewhat recently on why I think YouTube is the greatest social media, and that's kind of where I came to. I find solidarity in comment sections under videos with like less than 1,000 views. And
Right.
it might be one of the most beautiful videos that I've ever watched. So many amazing, beautiful short films are out on YouTube. I mean, just the idea that someone can create, nearly professional level videos. Like, I watch this philosophy YouTuber a lot, Sisyphus55.
Yeah.
Um,
Heard of him. Yeah.
and yeah, like, it's just, he makes beautifully animated videos with gorgeous music. And to me, it's on par with professional short films. Like, I could see that at the Sundance Festival, like,
Mhm.
this is art at a beautiful level. And people open their hearts out in YouTube comments. I've noticed that. Like, I'll make a video on, like, especially an older game like Castle Crashers, that everyone kind of remembers off the Xbox 360, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I played that with my brother, and that was one of the last great memories we had together." I'm just like, people open their hearts out on these. I mean, some of my videos are extremely obsolete, and they don't have many, views or anything like that. And you've just got people supporting each other in the comments, and it's just gorgeous. It's
Yeah.
probably my favorite part about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just be yourself, and that's honestly the number one advice I can give to anyone wanting to be a creator. Is just be yourself. Well, that 30 minutes went by like nothing.
Yeah, it really did.
That was a flash.
So yeah, best of luck. Yeah, this was a lot of fun, and yeah, good luck.
Thank you, man. Go make a video. Promise to
I
me.
will.
All right. I'll catch you later.
Have a good one.